I can't possibly imagine how embarrassed I feel that I am this invested in this TV show. However, I decided to make it my entire personality, so there's no going back. We're in too deep. When I finished watching season 1, I hated it so much to the point that I fell asleep at the climax of the final episode. And I actually never rewinded. I didn't care, okay? And I never intended to watch the second season, ever. I was boycotting the show for how bad it was and how much I felt like it was exploiting the audience at a time of need. Okay? However, I lost my job and I'm at home every single day, which means I spent my entire day on TikTok. The moment the second season premiered, everyone on TikTok had an opinion about it, and everyone had a favorable opinion, and I was having FOMO. So the only reason I watched season 2 was because I have a superiority complex and I needed to feel like I'm better than everyone by watching the show and hating it, and I loved it instead. Who is the fool now? It's me. I am the idiot. When I watched season 2, I had one thought and one thought only. This show used to be trash, and now it is not. And I wanted to find a valid reason why my feelings were so polar opposite between the two seasons, because it's still the same show, it still has the same showrunners, yet one season was a pile of horseshit, and the second season was just so wonderful. At this point, I have watched season 2 3 times, and tomorrow morning I'm gonna start my 4th. I have zero shame regarding that fact. This is my new guilty pleasure, and I am not even guilty about it. I don't feel guilty. This is making me happy. This is raising my expectations. Simply stating season 2 is better than season 1 doesn't do it justice. I want to actually pinpoint everything that I hated about season 1 for you to be able to understand why season 2 is 100% better, and if you disagree, you're purely wrong. I am in £30,000 debt in the English government because I decided to get a film degree. If you ever think about getting a film degree, just look at me. This is what I'm doing with my film degree. I am jobless, careerless, and honestly kind of depressed. So, I also need to clarify that this entire video is not coming from a critical perspective of the show itself. We're not here to talk about camera work or artistic integrity. We're just here to judge the storylines. So we're seeing it from a purely audience POV, having the knowledge of a film graduate. You probably have noticed that all romance books are extremely repetitive, especially if they are in the genre that these books are, which is just easy fiction that's not meant to be read critically, because they all follow the exact same formula. The formula is a 3-act structure in which the characters have to break up at the end of Act 2, just before they get back together and live happily ever after. This always happens. Any romance book you will read, you'll see that the characters have to break up for some stupid reason, because usually the reason is absolutely stupid and unjustifiable. I already hate the concept of the characters breaking up, but if they have to break up, at least have a valid reason. There's 2 ways in which you can go around the breakup. Either the conflict is internal, which means the characters themselves are the problem and they're just fighting with each other, or the conflict is external, which means there are other reasons for which the characters cannot be together, although they would really wish to be. In season 1, we have the internal conflict, which means the 2 characters are 2 horrible human beings that constantly fight and bicker with each other, have zero communication skills and are constantly miscommunicating, which brought them to the point of breaking up just before the Act 3. Then, in season 2, we have the external conflict. The characters meet, and from the point of meeting, their feelings only get stronger and stronger and develop through time. And the reason they are separated just before Act 3 is not their choice. It's an external reason, it's out of their control. To simply put it this way, this is why season 2 is better. However, it gets much deeper than that. Let's separate these 2 seasons by a very obvious observation. One thing that elevates season 2 immensely is that the actors are acting, and I mean that in the most offensive way possible. In season 1, and I will mostly focus on Simon because I have a personal vendetta against him, because there's rumors that he's arrogant and full of himself and blah blah blah. We hate arrogance. We want humble people that are willing to grow, and if there's somebody with an attitude on set thinking they're better than anyone, I just want them to never get a job ever again. There is zero chemistry between the couple. And of course, it's not their fault. Chemistry cannot be manufactured. However, I am willing to bet that the only reason season 1 was such a success is because Simon is so damn pretty. But there's no thought behind those eyes. There is nothing in his performance that makes him believable as a love interest. He's not charismatic. He's just pretty. His entire performance is based on his eyebrows and the slight change of the tone of his voice. There is nothing in his acting that makes it any way intriguing. You cannot empathize with the character, you cannot care, you just want his pretty face to not get harmed. This is all he's giving us. What else do I want to say about season 1? I feel like a lot of people who loved season 1 will actually hate season 2 purely because they will feel tricked. In season 1, all we get is sexy times, no emotions, zero thoughts, just vibes. And if you're just looking for smut, you will not be getting it in season 2. In season 2, you get emotions instead. And I feel like maybe the showrunners actually tricked the audience in that way, because I think they wanted to just grab the audience's attention just so they can afford to actually make work that they're proud of. Because nothing about season 1 resembles a period drama. None of the love story has any depth whatsoever. You cannot find any reasons in why the season 1 couple even wanted to be together to begin with. You cannot believe that there is love behind those eyes. You cannot believe that they have anything in common or that they're compatible in any sort of way. All of the love scenes seem stilted and cold. It feels awkward to purely look at them. And season 1 is supposed to be this sexual awakening of Daphne, but you don't feel any of it. It feels so manufactured in such a horrible way. It's just not even interesting. It's purely boring. And I would be all here for the smut if there was build up or tension or chemistry, but there is nothing there. You're just watching two sacks of people being in a very close proximity to each other with not a lot of clothing on. You don't believe there's any genuine emotion behind it, and that really triggers me, because what's the point of a love story if there is no love there? So you cannot imagine how happy I am that he is no longer in the show, and I think they should just recast the character. I feel like Daphne deserves to have a happy ending, and I don't think she got it in season 1. Wait, did I just forget that she sexually assaulted him? This is a love story? These characters should not even be together after that. One lied horribly, the other assaulted the person. Daphne is acting like a brat. She's bitter, she's mean, and she manipulates Simon. Simon is just a douche. He is stupid. He lies to Daphne. He takes advantage of her innocence and her naivety. Oh my gosh, they don't even like each other. Like, imagine being married to someone you love and you just avoid them. You don't communicate your feelings. You communicate nothing. It's just pointless. In season 2, we begin by establishing the stakes. We show why these characters are not able to be together at the moment. We show their conflict, and then we build upon it. Every single episode moves the plotline forward. We don't have any back and forth. These characters meet, they hate each other, and from that point onwards, we show exactly the reasons why they stop hating each other. We get to see how they grow respect for each other. We get to see them gravitate towards each other. Every single time they look at each other, it's electric. From episode 1, they have immense chemistry. The acting is phenomenal from both actors. We are fully willing to believe this love story. Every single time they look at each other, you wanna throw up out of disappointment for your own life. Genuinely, there is so much love between these two characters, and there is so much build up and tension. These characters look at each other and you feel pregnant. These characters walk past each other and you wanna, what do you wanna do? I don't know. Die, I guess. You see them grow and grow more fonder of each other, and then the obstacles keep getting in their way because there's the reasons why they can't be together, and of course some of them are because of their fault. However, you understand the motives behind each wrong action. You are able to empathize with them and want them to win. You want them to be together, and the moment they get together for the first time is such a massive reward at a 7-episode build-up. It feels so meaningful. The first time they sleep together, it feels like it's earned. It feels like it's more the emotions that they're experiencing other than the physical attraction. But the physical attraction is also so strong. The entire love story brings me so much hope and so much devastation, because as much as I wish this type of love existed, I am not really sure that it's meant for me. Until my life gets any better, I will just simply keep rewatching this TV show again and 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 again. And I feel the reason season 2 is so loved is because all of us look at ourselves and look at our lives, and for a second we're willing to believe that this type of love exists out there, and for a second there's a light of hope in the horizon before the show ends and everything is dark again. And that's why I feel a lot of people are rewatching the show again and again, because they want to keep being reminded of what could be out there even if it's not close to us, even if it's not something we experience personally. And just seeing these people acted so convincingly, you just cannot help but believe, and you cannot help but want it too. That's why people love it so much, because in season 2 the love story is something that you would actually wish for yourself. In season 1, it's two people who hate each other, who miscommunicate, who disrespect each other and violate each other, and then they're happy ever after. You don't care they're happy ever after, you don't even believe it. It's just there, I guess. It's just what the show wants you to believe. But we're no longer fooled by shallow connections. Now we have seen what's possible to be achieved by this show. I am absolutely terrified for season 3 because we've left off in such a high note. I cannot even possibly imagine of any love story being better than the one we've been delivered so far. I cannot possibly imagine anything that could overshadow season 2. I am afraid that the show has just peaked and there is nothing there for us to expect or hope for. However, I do have multiple opinions in what season 3 could do in order to be a great show, so I will express them even though nobody has asked. Subscribe to this channel if you want to hear all of my predictions about season 3, everything that I am afraid is going to happen, everything that I hope will happen, and in general how I would make season 3 an equally amazing season as season 2.